Hello guys, welcome back for another video. So today we're going to be doing a video again here on the game called Project Ghoul, and today the video topic is going to be whether or not you should pick Ghoul or CCG. So today we're gonna have the conversation whether or not you should main the Ghoul or CCG. So this is a topic that I think a lot of people would be asking, because this is a topic that I have been asking myself as well, on whether or not I should go for Ghoul or CCG. And today I'll have a clear answer on the two of those. Okay, so I'll not be editing this video much. So yeah, let's get straight to this video, guys. Okay, so today we're gonna be talking about whether or not you should go for Ghoul or CCG. And the first category that we're gonna be talking about is which is stronger. Okay, so there's gonna be different parts to who is the stronger type. So there's gonna be different parts to this. The first part is early game. The second part is mid game, and the third part is the end game. Okay, so in the mid game, there's actually gonna be a clear and dominant winner here, and in the early game, the ghouls are gonna be so much stronger than any CCG. Especially in the beginning, if you don't have a good Queen K or if you don't have a good Arata, even a ghoul that's lower level than you will destroy you. And I'm not even joking, bro. Like, if you're a low level CCG like me right now, only level 293, you could probably get clapped by any ghoul, by a ghoul, because they have a healing factor, very quick healing factor, whereas CCG members do not have fast healing. As you guys can see here, it takes so long for a CCG to heal. So yeah, in the early game, CCG will get demolished by any ghoul. Okay, so if you are in the early game, you're gonna get demolished by the ghouls, and you're not gonna have much chance against ghouls. But in the mid game, here's where around level 500, no, not level 500, like level 300, level 400, like where I am right now, you are still going to be demolished by any CCG. By any ghoul players. If you're a CCG and you're mid game, like level 400, level 300, like me right now, you're still going to be demolished by any ghoul. As a matter of fact, you could probably 2v1 a ghoul as a CCG, and you'd probably still get demolished, because the ghouls have too strong healing. And there's not really many good Queen Ks for the mid game. There's not even any good Arata for the mid game. So you'd probably get demolished by any ghouls in the mid game. Yeah, so you're probably gonna lose. So if you're talking about the early game or the mid game, you're gonna lose to any ghouls. Doesn't matter how skilled you are, except if the ghoul is really trash, you're probably gonna lose very badly. So okay, so we're finished with the beginner and the mid game. So the early game, mid game. Now we're gonna be talking about probably the most important, because this is where we're gonna be doing the most PvP. Okay, so the late game. So we're gonna talk about the late game and whether or not the ghouls are gonna be stronger than the CCG in the late game. So I'm gonna give you guys a clear answer right now. Okay, so what I mean by the late game is when you actually have a good Queen case, or what I mean by good Queen case is when you have Narukami, Ixa when it comes out, or SSS Al when it comes out. SSS Al, or when you have good Aratas, so like Joker Arata, Arata 2. Once you have those good Aratas, those good Queen case, ghouls will not stand a chance against you. Okay, ghouls will not they still stand a chance against you, but they're gonna be a lot easier to fight. You're gonna be in a better advantage as a CCG compared to a ghoul, because ghouls are very strong in mid game and in early game, but they become very weak in the late game. So if you're like a CCG and you have Narukami, you'd probably win against most ghouls, sorry. You'd probably win against most ghouls, because ghouls are not that good in the late game. So you'd probably be demolishing a lot of ghouls in the late game. Okay, so there goes the answer. But once Kakuja comes out, this is based on what we have right now, where Kakuja is not released yet. Once Kakuja comes out, we don't know whether they're gonna be super overpowered, but in my opinion, CCG is still going to be a lot stronger than Ghoul in the late game. Not a lot stronger, but they're still gonna be stronger or have an advantage in the late game because CCG, especially if you have Arata, combine that with a good powerful Queen K, especially since you could spam the Arta, you could easily put them on, easily put them out like this. So in the late game, the Ghouls are definitely most likely gonna be losing to the CCG, and I'm just being honest, guys, because I have both a Ghoul account and a CCG account. So if you're looking for a very strong late game, then I would recommend for you to go to the CCG. Okay, so now let's go to the second category of whether you should go for Ghoul or CCG. Now the second category is whether is the grinding. Okay, so if you guys don't know, it's actually very hard to grind for one of these. Okay, so I'll be honest with you guys. Some of you guys probably don't know this, but it's actually extremely hard to grind for the CCG. Okay, so if you're low level, as you guys can see right now, I'm almost dead from these alone, and I'm higher level than them by a lot. Not because I suck, but because CCG, as I've mentioned earlier, are actually pretty bad in the late, mid, and early games. So as you guys can see here, I'm actually struggling quite a bit against these ghouls because, yeah, as you guys can see here, struggling quite a bit because these ghouls are quite powerful. These NPCs are quite powerful, and you're gonna find a lot of hard time fighting them. Not only that, there's actually only one spawn point for the CCG. Let me go over here and try to die to one of these low rank Aogiri members. Yeah, I'm trying to die to one of these guys. Okay, you're too weak, too bad. Okay, let me die from this low rank Aogiri member. Okay, so there's actually only one spawn point for the CCG, and that the spawn point that I'm talking about is this one. So if you guys don't know, it's actually very irritating to grind for CCG, especially in the early game, because you're gonna have to walk half the map, or all the from there to over there, around there. So over there, around there, and like I said earlier, CCG is very weak in the early game. So you're probably gonna die a lot in the early game, and in the early game you're gonna be grinding most of the early game around there, over there in those areas. So you're gonna be needing to run half the map to grind as a CCG. So if for you that's not hellish, that is actually quite hellish. Okay, because it's very hard and stupid to grind in the early game as CCG, because not only do you have to go from there to almost half the map, you have very weak healing, as you guys have probably already seen. You have a very bad healing, and in the early game you basically don't have any stats. Your Queen K is very bad as well, and yeah, in the early game you're going to get demolished a lot, and it's gonna be very hellish for you to grind as a CCG in the early game. But once in the mid game or in the late game, once you have Narukami, okay, once you have Narukami or Rogue CCG, which is level 500, grinding actually becomes easier for the ghouls. I mean for the CCG. So basically it's gonna be easier to level up ghouls in general. But once you reach the Rogue CCG, which I'll be making a video on later, once you reach that level, it's gonna be much easier for you to level up as a CCG than it is as a ghoul. So if you're patient, if you're very patient and you can endure hellish grinds, or you can endure if you can endure a bit of a harder grind, then you could probably go for a CCG. But if you don't like hard grinds and just like the easy grind, I would recommend you go for the ghoul, because the ghouls will have a much easier time grinding, because ghouls are, not only do they have a healing factor, they also have wait, let me just kill this one right here. They're also closer to the NPCs. As you guys can see there, I died even though I was blocking, because I have a very bad healing factor. I died, and this is quite annoying, as you guys can see here. So if you can tolerate a harder grind, you can probably go for CCG. But if you can't tolerate hard grinds, you should go for Ghoul. Okay. So yeah, so we have the first category, who is stronger. The second category, which is easier to grind. The third category is which is more unique or which has more content. The answer to this one is probably going to be a tie by the time they finish the game. It's probably going to become a tie once they finish the game. But right now, CCG has more content because CCG has Arata, CCG has Queen Case, CCG has Rogue CCG. So there's a lot more content in CCG than there is for Ghouls right now because they're kind of focusing a bit more on the CCG aspect than they're focusing on the Ghouls. So right now there's a lot more content for CCG than there is for Ghouls. But by the time the game finishes, CCG and Ghouls probably gonna have the same amount of content. So I'm probably gonna make it a tie in this category here. So yeah, so it's probably gonna be a tie for the third category, which has more content. So yeah, let's go to the summary now of this video because I don't want this video to be too long. So for summary, which is better? Should you go Ghoul or should you go CCG? I'm gonna sum it up right here. If you guys want an easier grind, you should probably go for CCG. If you guys want an easier grind, you should probably go for CCG. If you guys want an easier grind, you guys should probably go for a Ghoul. If you guys want a very overpowered end game, you guys should probably go for CCG because CCG is actually very overpowered and busted in the late game. And yeah, that probably sums it up. If you guys want an early easy grind, you should probably go for the Ghouls. If you guys want a not very but powerful late game, you guys should probably go for CCG because I think they're gonna make it so that CCG is slightly more powerful than Ghouls in the late game because Ghouls have Arata and CCG has Arata and overpowered Queen Case that are long range. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. If you guys like this video, please do like and subscribe. These are gonna be my thoughts. I'm gonna leave a comment in the section below on which I think on the summary. I'm gonna try to summarize everything that I said in this video on the comment section down below because I know you guys might not have listened to my to everything I said. But yeah, the summary of this video is if you guys want an easier grind, go for Ghoul. If you guys want an overpowered late game, go for CCG because CCG has Arta and Queen K. And Ghouls will have Kakuja, but in my opinion, CCG will still be more overpowered in the late game, especially how things are going on right now. They're probably going to be more overpowered in the late game still. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe, guys. And yeah, please do like and subscribe and leave a like and comment in the comment section down below. And if you guys can, please do watch the ads if you guys can. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Please do leave a like and please subscribe and leave a comment in the comment section down below. And yeah, join my Discord as well. See you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.